Salma, it's so wonderful to be here, and we've spent the last hour with you giving me, and I'm a complete novice, a history lesson. Mm-hmm. And there's so much to take in, from Babur arriving in India in 5026 to the end of it, really, with Bahadur and the British arriving. I apologise for the British. No. But what we can talk about to help give me a better understanding. There's so much happening here. There's regions, there's recipes and health. There's many things happening here.
That's right.
Could we start a little bit to talk about how the different geographies create the cuisine? Right.
See, food is a Jasper integral part of any country. And with food comes the culture and civilizations. Food opens main doors to the civilization, sophistication and everything. People come from different parts. Now how they come? They're either the conquerors, they bring their own geography, they bring their own recipes, they bring their own culture. They are traders who come and settle down, but they bring their own culture with them. Then there are immigrants, they also come. So all these small things, they add to it. Somebody is coming from a country like Central Asia, which is cold, and they have a different habits of eating, and they cannot survive in this heat of India, and they have their own. Then some are coming from the Afghanistan, which is not so very cold, but they have their own culture and their own geography, and the recipes are according to the recipes. But those days, India had a spice box. They never had any spice box. And the food used to be very bland according to the climate.
The Mughal food,
From the Central Asian who came, they brought with them the grill food. See? They had the kebab, they had not the sophisticated kebab, but they had the wholesome food like the leg of a lamb. They had a barra kebab kind of a thing, and they brought that.
And they're hunters, I guess they need functional, simple food.
But the Persian who came, they had a little more sophistication, and they had different kind of kebabs which they made. They also had the grilled food, but Persia brought to us the pulao, rice. And again, they had the aroma. Persia was a place where saffron grew, and they brought the saffron and made the food aromatic. They also had climate to grow almond, pistachios, and things like that. But the Central Asia also brought with them the fruits, the fresh fruits. Now Persia gave us the dry fruits and also the saffron, the aroma. Now Afghanistan has a climate which was similar to India, and they gave us lots of vegetables. They gave us salads, they gave us lentils and the things. So the combination of everything makes place where you come and stay. You take the local ingredients with you. You look at the geography of the local place, the India. So India had a hot climate, and all these things combined, they made a nice dish for the Indians, and it became a royal table.
Okay, so Babur, Humayun, Jahangir, they all bring these different influences. What do they get influenced by in India? So, for example, we were talking here about how Akbar would interact with the Rajputs.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how the Rajputi, Rajasthani cuisine starts to influence the overall cuisine.
See, Akbar he inherited his kingdom from Humayun, who was a weak emperor. And now Babur was worried that he should not have anything and lose the empire again from his hands. So he looked around and he found out that his main enemies are the Rajputs, who are powerful, who are strong, and they also want to make him go.
So they're all sitting in their Rajasthani forts and palaces looking to boot this fellow.
Yeah, so he says, now I have to win them over. Mm. Now the two ways of winning over a person, either by crushing them or either by making them friends. and he preferred the second part. He thought it is much better to be friend and win them over. So he visited places and he offered marriages to the princess, and as he was a strong emperor, they realized that it is worthwhile to give our princess to him and become very, very popular also. He gave them the nice jagirs, he gave them the lands, he gave them the honor and everything. So most of the Rajasthani Rajas and zamindars and all, they became friends of Akbar. But those who did not, he pressurized them. But by marrying Jodhabai, Akbar opened the door. And people realized that, well, Rajputani princess can become a queen of India, why not us? So many more people. So you realize the history, and in the history, many of the Mughals have the Rajput mothers. Even Shah Jahan had the Rajput mothers. So the many people came forward, and that is how alliance between the Mughals and the Rajputs became very important. And the food came also.
So the food, the door is open, the food comes.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, so we know a little bit about geography. There's so much to learn. I mean, it's just, I'm a beginner, but I'm understanding something about geography. I'm understanding about the growing. I'm understanding a little bit about the cooking teams and the equipment and the technique. Can we talk a little bit about how? So the Mughals. I mean, for me, the Mughals are famous for their finesse, and so Akbar. Let me get this right. Akbar hands to Jahangir. And am I right that Jahangir has a wife, Nur Jahan?
Right.
And she has some magic. Can you tell us about the magic that she brings to the...
Nur Jahangir's period is very, very interesting, because during my research, I came across a book called Alwan-e-Nemat from the National Museum of Delhi. It has the recipes, about 400 recipes of Jahangir's kitchen.
So they start to write it
and
down.
And I have translated about 100 of them, and it has the creation of Nur Jahan in it, besides the recipes. Now today you go to a supermarket and then you want to buy the fruit yogurt of mango, pineapple, this, that. Nur Jahan in those days created the fruit yogurt. She used to have a glass bowl with a conical, and they used to partition it with the sun mica. And then she used to put little bit of juices of each fruit, a little yogurt to set it, and then when that sample is set, then she will put the lukewarm milk and leave it.
So it's multicolored already.
Now the colorful and the different kind of a taste, mango, pineapple, cherry, and she will remove the sun mica and present it.
Wonderful.
So this was a thing. Then she made the Rangi Pulao, means the pulao of 3 colors. And all these were not artificial color. These colors were originally vegetable colors. Like she made use of the spinach, lots. She made use of the saffron, most. She made use of the beetroot also. So she will have she will layer the rice, then she will layer it with the spinach, again layer the rice, layer it with the saffron, again layer the rice, again put it on the beetroot, and then put it on dum. And when you take it out, you know, the art of taking a biryani or a pulao lies how you take it out. Mostly here chefs, they put the spoon and take it out. No. You cut it with the plate. And when you cut it from the side, you bring out the whole thing.
Oh, I see. So you get the full cross-section with the colours.
This is the technique of taking out the pulao from a bartan. That's right. And she was very fond of throwing banquet, because she knew that Jahangir loves food. And she wanted to be very, very popular in the books of history also. And then the Portuguese, French, Britishers, they had already started coming, and they knew that the power lies with the woman, the queen. They used to please her, and seeing her interest in cooking and in presentation, They used to bring her gadgets and things, and
Oh, I see.
She used to make edible gum, and with the edible gum, she used to put it in the small bowls and set them, and then take them out, and she used to put on the pulao and make it look like a jeweled pulao, and it was called Barakhamba pulao, all kinds. Huh? Then she used to make moti pulao. From creation, her mind was working. She'll make a moti pulao, she'll make in the esophagus of a chicken, she will put the white of egg.
Is that right? An esophagus of a chicken?
Yeah. White of egg with a little bit of the silver work.
Okay.
Silver sheet. And
tie it.
And tie it. And put it in the hot water. And then it is set because it's the white of egg.
So you get the flavour of the...
Yeah. So then she will take it out, open it, and then
I see.
Squeeze it, and the pearls will come out.
For the final
and then
flavour.
she will put it on the pulao.
She's a very clever woman.
Very clever woman.
I need her when I make my pizzas. I need to invoke the spirit of Noor Jahan when I make my Mughal pizzas.
She'll help you writing this book.
But also, she's master of that old rule that the way to a man's heart is through the stomach.
Yeah,
is through the stomach.
Right.
She knew this very well. Okay, so she brings creativity, art, design, and she's a channel for the Portuguese, from the British, whoever. Let's talk a bit about the the absolute peak of Mughal civilization and Mughal cuisine is Shah Jahan.
Shah Jahan, right.
And something interesting happens. Tell us about how Shah Jahan and his era takes food from the court into society and the rituals. Talk to us a bit about that.
See, so far, right from Babur, comes to Humayun, comes to Akbar, comes to Jahangir. The food was cooked in the royal kitchen and was served to the emperor in the palace, and he ate with the harem, his queens, and it was a very private affair.
Exclusive.
Absolutely. Yeah. Outside nobles and all had no clue what this emperor is eating, and food was served from the kitchen to the place where emperor is eating. Unless it is a banquet, unless it's a festival, then the nobles are invited, but in the palace. Now, Shah Jahan, when he came, he left Agra and he came and he founded a city called Shah Jahanabad. His daughter Jahanara, she was creative also, and she made Chandni Chowk a place of visiting people, a place which gives beauty to Shah Jahanabad. It was a canal in between Chandni Chowk, and it was called Chandni Chowk, means the square of moonlight. And when the full moon is there and reflected in the water, the place was romantic and place was incredible. And now both sides of the canal were the shops. One side was the shops of the fabrics and the jewelry and whatever. The rule of these shops were that the women were the seller and the men were the buyer.
Ah, that's interesting.
So the prince and the nobles, they used to come from the palace. They used to bargain it with these women, the princess and all, and nice conversation.
So it's a sort of social pantomime.
Yeah.
It's
And the
fun.
other side of the canal had shops of eating. Now the food of the royal kitchen has come down to the roads. Grilling cooks were there. There were the kebab making cooks were there. The biryani making cooks were there. Each one had it. They made in lagans. You can find the aroma. Then you can have where the kebabs were grilled. It was there. And then there were halwais, the meat sellers. They used to make lovely, lovely sweets, which were now very much part of it, the Indian cuisine. They used to make gulab jamuns, they used to make petha, they used to make barfi and all that. And these shops were there, and the common man, to a certain category, used to come and eat there and take food there. So the royal food in Shah Jahan's time came from the royal kitchen to the market.
That's very interesting. So, I mean, we could talk. We will keep talking. This is a beginning. I hope the beginning of a beautiful, beautiful friendship. But after Shah Jahan, eventually you get to Bahadur, and that's really the end. That's the curtains, Aurangzeb, and then Bahadur, and then that's the curtains are closed on the Mughal tradition. And now, can you find this pure Mughal cooking in India? Can you find it? So if I want to have the original recipes with the simple flavorings, can you find that in India now, or is it?
No, you have to make it. You have to come to me, and I'll cook it for you.
This is the. I'm glad I asked. This is the perfect excuse. But I'm thinking I might just move in here.
See, commercialization. No, I was told that good old days, in Bahadur Shah Zafar's time, there was a kebabchi who used to make gola kebab, right? And my boss in ITC, Mr. Habib Rahman, he wanted how to make this gola kebab. He says, Salma, do research, find out what happened. So I was told that in Old Delhi, near Suiwalan, there is a place, there is a kebabchi who makes even now gola kebab. So I went there. I met the kebabchi. There was a mosque, and outside this kebabchi was there. And I told him that who am I, and I have come for this purpose. Oh, he laughed. He said, sit down. I make gola kebab, and to perfect.
The
and
original?
My forefathers were there in the royal kitchen of Bahadur Shah Zafar, but that is a story long time back, and generations have passed. But I have learned this art of making gola kebab, and I can make it for you. But making of gola kebab is a tedious job, and who wants it? Now people come out of the mosque, they come to me and say, give us kebab, take this 1 rupee, give us kebab, take us 2 rupees. He says that the gola kebab requires lots of spices and energy, time, and they're expensive. And nobody is ready to pay that money. They have no interest. They only want to have the roasted meat and kebab, and they take and they go. So the art has died. Nobody is there.
Market forces.
So I had a big party, a big banquet, and I invited him. I said, come over and make gola kebab here. Whatever your expense, I will give it to you. And he was very pleased.
I'm sure.
And I told Mr. Rahman, I said, please stand there and see how he makes it. And this man took about an hour and a half to make just 1 seek of kebab. But what kebab? He made the kebab, it's absolutely round, absolutely soft, absolutely delicious.
Heaven.
And he says, now who will pay me for that? Who has time to wait? Because they have to be made fresh. So slowly, the art which was there in the royal kitchen and the creation which was there in the royal kitchen died its own death. Because people neither had money, nor passion, nor time. So today, even today, today's world, present day, the food has become shortcut. People have no passion. People take online and they get the food. Nobody wants to cook. They find it is much easier to get the online cooking. So the traditional food art is dying, and it's giving place to a shortcut.
But on the other hand, you're keeping it alive.
I'm keeping it
Single-handedly, through your extraordinary cookery books, through your amazing knowledge, through your own soul and passion. And I will try and, when I invite you to taste what I've cooked, I will try and be true to the true spirit of the Mughals. And, sitting with you, it's like sitting with Noor Jahan.
Oh, thank you so much.
This is what it's like. I'm seriously, this is
so much.
It's so wonderful. It's like the spirit of Noor Jahan coming here, and I'm honoured just to learn this little bit. And I hope we can keep talking, and I can keep learning.
And I hope that one day you come and I make food for you and you eat it.
I would love that, but be careful. I'll come once, and then every day I'll be turning up.
Okay.
at lunchtime.
My pleasure.
And then you'll
My
show
pleasure.
Me. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.